Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
What up, thou? Rise and shine, people. How you feeling today, Big Ragu? That scenery just makes me want to rise and shine right now.
Hey, that's my new green screen permanently from now on. So, anyways, now I'm back at the beach like I was last week, and then next week in the home studio. Then the following week, guess what? Atlantic City, baby. So, yeah, a little traveling,
Ooh.
a little bit of traveling. Early September, late August. Hey, man, we're already talking week number 2, right? Week 0, week 1, week 2, which is the third week of football. You think these guys that are college educated would figure out they can count from 1 to 2, without getting things screwed up. But anyways, third week of college football, week number 2. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Excited. Made a little money last night. Betting the under in one of those games last night, and then bet some live bets. So even though I had a bad last week, I was 2-5 on all the plays that I had put on X. But those that was with us last week, a lot of those plays that I went over on the show did cash. So record was a little different, but I'm just gonna go with the printed word, and I'm 2-5
Yeah,
coming
that's how
in
it is.
this week. Yeah, it's all good.
It's a
But
long season.
it's a long season, man. So
I,
any key takeaways from week 1 that carries over to week 2 for you, or
well,
anything you
yeah,
expect in
I,
here?
I'm glad you brought that up because I know the week 0 schedule was pretty light. Just a lot of very light board, so to speak. No key matchups. But last week, I mean, we had 4 blockbuster games that were kind of national championship caliber type game matchups. Now we get into week 2, which is the third week. And I'm gonna tell you what, this board to me today is. There's not a lot of shining stars up on the board. There's a few key games that may mean something early on. I think there's like the Oklahoma game later on, which we'll talk about that game. A few conference games that are starting to heat up a little bit, but there's a lot of cupcake. This is like the really cupcake week. There's a lot of big schools playing a lot of smaller schools, which I have no interest. But the takeaway would be, still you still want to probably work your way into the season a little bit light and. There are a couple of 2-unit plays that I got. Last week I went 4-4 on X, but I did make money because my two-unit plays did cash. So I was up like 3.6 units, and even on a split. So that's part of the money management scheme, guys. But just tread lightly. Still, a lot of stuff to come, man. So just stick your water in the shallow end, and then before you dive in too deep.
Yeah, before you dive in deep. But coming in the second week, there's really not as much top-notch games. We had like 3
Yeah.
major top-notch games last week, and this week it comes down to 1, right? And then there's a
Yeah.
couple rekindle rivalries and stuff going on. A
Yeah,
lot of
early
traveling.
rivalries.
Yeah, we got some
Early
travel
rivalries.
situations where teams were out on the West Coast and had to go all the way back to the East Coast, and they live in the Midwest. So we had a bunch of scenarios going on. Shout out to OG Wham gifting 5 memberships in the chat. Hey, y'all go get those memberships. We putting up membership only picks daily. You heard that from me right here. We're putting up membership only picks daily. So you can get some of the stuff that we have in our personal chats and stuff like that. Nothing major. We're not out here touting and telling you if you lose, we're gonna give you the next week for free or nothing. But join the Team Who-Bangin family, man, and get a membership, and we'll share some of the stuff that we have going on in our own personal chats, which Big Ragu already knows. It's exciting in there. It's fun. Sometimes you want to cut your phone off because it's just going back and forth, but then you go back and read the stories and what's going on with the fellas, and you just smile, man. That's all you can do is smile. But big shout out to the chat, Gary in the chat, Paco in the chat, OG Wham just gifted 5 in the chat. My boy JT in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad it's like week 2, and our peoples is coming to see us early. I appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah, and there's guys in the bushes that are hiding that are not in the chat yet. I know, like our shout out to Jimmy in the barn in Georgia. We're going to talk about your Georgia Southern neighborly team today, and then I'm sure AT NC 33s. We got his play today coming up, and then hopefully Mikey's up on the West Coast, Stardust, and the rest of the gang. So we look forward to an entertaining show, maybe a little bit lighter, but hey, we're still going to give out the plays.
Yep. Big shout out to those guys, man. My man Jimmy and Mike, and of course our man AT, man. But let's go into taking a look about biscuits and gravy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the biscuits and gravy intro.
Okay.
Yeah, but on my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me?
Let's go, biscuits and gravy. This is how we looked last week, man. We were 2-5. We got off to a really good start. We got off to a really good start earlier in the week, but things just kind of died down. But you know, week 1, that's kind of expected because of the way that things shift. You know, you do as much research as you can on people, and sometimes people not what they say on paper, just like in real life, right? But
I got to play on the field. Yeah, they play the game on the field. That's for sure.
yeah,
Hey,
they gotta
explain what
play the
this is, because I know I got a shout out to my guy Dale, who's watching for the first time today. He's actually poolside down at the other end. So explain what this biscuits and gravy is all about.
So the biscuits and gravy is official contest entry from this show right here with these people that you see on this show right here. And this is a huge contest. It's the first Westgate Super Contest in Vegas, the first one for college. And we're in there, man. Biscuits and gravy. We're in there as biscuits and gravy. You can go online. You'll see us in the contest card or whatever. It's a whole bunch of top notch cappers in there, guys from Beeson, guys from Wager Talk, some of our friends that we know out there. They're all in this thing right here. We had to jump in and get a part of it, man, because that's what we do. Um, contest contest betting goes a little different. You guys will see how we figure it out. But
Full
let me bring my man
disclosure.
Wine in. Wine's in the back. Let me bring Wine in.
What up, boys?
Wine.
Top of the morning,
There he
guys.
is.
Let's go. Good to see you guys. Happy Saturday. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Doc. Look at that background right there. That doesn't even look real. Living out there, man.
I told him I'm going to drag this with me everywhere I go.
Yeah,
You got to save that background. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see my guy Dami Gunrici, Paco Healy, Dale, AODs, JT in the chat. Good to see you guys and happy Saturday. Excited to join you guys for week 2 of college football.
Absolutely. And we glad to have you, my brother. But we're taking a look real quick on our biscuits and gravy right here. And this was the results from last week, which kind of makes me feel like this. Just to say the least.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, what's that saying you got about
the
the sunshine on a dog's ass?
Hey, yeah, the sun got to shine on a dog's ass someday, sometimes
Right.
twice in a day. But we got a clean slate this week, fellas. We got a clean slate. Here's our picks for this week right here. Biscuits and gravy. And this time we want to end up more like this.
Uh,
There we go.
Yeah, we want to end up more like this this time next week. But let's jump right in it, man. This pick right here, I don't have much on it. But my man Big Ragu, he loves this pick right here. If you follow him on X, you already know what's up. How you feel like I'm gonna give you 60 seconds for this pick, Big Ragu.
all right, here we go. So
You ready?
basically, yeah, go ahead, roll it up. I'm ready to roll with it. So we got Central Michigan, who played last week out in Fresno. It was the 1.5 point underdog on the road. They totally got annihilated. Pitt, on the other hand, they played Duquesne 61-9. They covered the the spread and the over by themselves. But here's the thing with Central Michigan. They got brand new coach, Matt Drinko, former Army offensive coordinator. They're not built to throw the ball deep. They're not built to expose the weakness that Pitt has, which is their defensive backs. But Pittsburgh is definitely going to mix it up and stretch the field out. And they're going to put some points up here, guys. You know, what did we say about first-year coaches last week? Here they are. And this team, like you said, went from Central Michigan out to California. They're staying out in Cali for 2 weeks. The only good thing about this game for them is they're going to go home and collect a paycheck, come back west or east, get the paycheck, and go back to Central Michigan. So this is a travel game and a lot of other stuff going on here. So I like Pitt to run the numbers up strong in this spot.
I like it. I like it. You got anything on that, or you want to jump this straight to VT?
Let's go straight to VT. Let's do it, guys. Set the timer. I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, guys, Virginia Tech here, definitely the spot. If you guys watched the game last week against South Carolina, they were covering the whole entire game. Was that a touchdown by Nick Harbor in the first half? Absolutely. Got a little bit lucky there on the first half, but I think that Virginia Tech team showed some heart, especially defensively, being able to stop Sellers. I mean, that explosive play to Nick Harbor with a couple minutes left, the 65-yard touchdown pass. I can't really explain that. Can you explain the 80-yard punt return either? Can't really explain that in the last couple of possessions of the game to lose a cover. I think Brent Pry's going to have his team ready to roll. I think Kyron Jones has hurt enough that he hasn't made any improvements this last offseason. I think he showed some toughness out there on 3rd and short. You saw him running with the ball, and you didn't see him like trying to slide. You saw him putting his shoulder headfirst into these safeties and linebackers, wanting them to feel him. And he looked good in those situations. They did move a little slow on offense. I'm getting close here, but Virginia Tech money line. This is a big revenge game at Blacksburg, Virginia. They're going to take care of business. Revenge game from last year. Vanderbilt's overrated this year. Virginia Tech money line.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's hop into the next one, Iowa. I kind of looked at the Iowa game. Basically, you know, this is a yearly rival. Iowa's supposed to be a couple steps up with the passing game they're trying to develop. They've been trying to develop for the last few years, and we already know what they could do on defense. We already know what to expect with that. But a lot of people are on this hot Matt Campbell group in Iowa State, trying to see, you know, maybe if they make it over the hump this year. This game is always a deciding factor for both teams. And if my memory is correct, Iowa State won last year. And this is more of a revenge factor right here for Iowa. Am I correct?
Yeah. They haven't won. I think Iowa State hasn't won a name since 2011. Something
crazy like that, yeah.
Or they beat the spread or something, because I know I was on Iowa last year in this game, and I ended up losing. But that's just a brief memory. I haven't went over it. Who want to hop in the box for a minute on this one?
I'll say something about this game. So this is a long tenured game, obviously, for a long, long time. Kurt Ferentz, he's the oldest tenured college football coach. I don't know. He's like 26, 27 years or however many long. 27, right? So, I mean, and the knock on Iowa for years has always been the offense. But this team made me more money than any team in college football last year. So I kind of got a close spot in my heart for them right now. On the offensive side of things, they made some improvements, right? He fired his son. They're bringing a new OC. Are they going to light up the scoreboard? Last year, I think they were putting like 20-something points, 27 points a game, which is unusual for this team, which usually scores about 19. But I think they run it back again this year. And then in these games, you know, 3 points is a premium here. So, and you're getting the hook. So I'll take the 3.5 with Iowa all day long in this spot.
Man, there we go right there. In 60 seconds or below 60 seconds, my man Ragu handles that one. You got anything you want to add to that, Wine? You was on that pretty much earlier too, wasn't you?
I'm on Iowa +3, and I'm on the first half under 20.5. I think the first half's going to go under, and the full game's going to go over. I think Iowa, they have a lot to play for Coach Kirk, going out there for all-time wins in Big Ten history, going against the in-state rivalry. This is a small state, but the state is divided into 2 schools, guys, 2 schools, Iowa State and Iowa. These teams do not like each other. The students don't like each other. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. I think getting those points in your back pocket with Iowa is good money. I think Iowa wins this game outright. They lost last year. I think Iowa State could lose this game and go undefeated the rest of the year and go 11-1. I think that's the kind of schedule that they have. Iowa needs this game if they want to maybe make a college football playoff. I know they're not looking for that. They're looking for a Big Ten title. And then you see where you go from there. But at the same time, I think this is a bigger game than that. I think this means more than just football. This is bragging rights for your whole entire state and university. Give me Iowa +3 -110.
That's what I'm talking about right there, man. We got a huge thing going on in the chat right here, man. Shout out to Dad Father, OE, Dale's in the chat, Skylar's in the chat, OG Wham in the chat, OG Wham is in the back. My man Nasty Nate in the chat too. Wham was in the back. Wham, let us get through biscuits and gravy and a couple plays, and we'll be open for whatever we want to go through on the show right here. But I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna jump on the next one. UCLA, give me 60 seconds. Let's go. So UCLA last week, low key was kind of expected. We talked about it early in the season about Utah on a big bounce back year and how many times Willingham's been bounced back in his past when he's had a bad season. And he kind of took it out on UCLA last week. That doesn't mean that you pump the brakes on UCLA. But UCLA is still a quality team. This should be Nico's week to be able to let down his hair and show you what he's working with for the most part. But pause on that. It sounds kind of crazy. But anyways, despite the level down that we feel that the UNLV is, UNLV, they're 2-0. But I think this is where the thing stops today. This is a buy low opportunity for UCLA right here. I'm taking UCLA -2.5. Let's get it. Next up, Colorado. Big Ragu, you want to take Colorado? Or you want me to jump on it?
What, did Wine have anything to say on the UCLA game?
Oh, I might have a thing or two to say about that, guys.
I figured that's. I'm sorry, DJ. I had to stop that because I know my guy's got a thing to say.
No, what I want to talk about specifically is the offense. The offense didn't look as bad as it looked on the scoreboard last week. They were playing from behind early. They couldn't run the ball. And what Tino said in the offseason, he wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball like old school SEC style. He's a Nick Saban disciple, as he said specifically. He wants to run the ball. He wants to tire out this defensive line. He's got two good running backs in Jalen Berger and Javian the Jet Thomas. We know Deshaun Foster likes to run the ball. I mean, he didn't last year, but we know he's a running back coach. We got Nico at the helm here. I think this is a kind of team that Nico should be able to go out there and absolute dog walk. This is the perfect kind of opponent for Nico and Tino to get their offense right going into this game. It's not going to be a hostile environment by any means. They're way more talented than this team. I think the line is as short as it is because all the Tennessee fans, everything you look, Nico's trash, UCLA's trash. Thanks for Joey Aguilar, all this stuff. And it's just talk. And I think Nico's going to show up to the task today. Tino didn't seem too worried last week. I mean, I trust Tino sincerely. That's my big thing. I think he knows what he's doing with this offense, and I think he's going to get it going in this game specifically. UCLA might not have a great season, but I think they get it done here. UCLA money line, they take care of business. They have to win this game, guys. This is a must win.
Got it. 100%. Jumping into Colorado. I mean, I got a few things to say about Colorado. Colorado at home for me is a thing. Didn't work last week because we already knew it and we cashed in on that. But this week is where they do get it done. They got to get those donors. They got to get those people in the stands. They got to do all those type of things to continue to afford what they do. Don't forget, on the back end, this is a business, baby, and they got to get this money today. The team didn't look very, very bad in last week, though. They did show little improvement to me on offense, where I think the quarterback kind of handles the pressure and he throws the ball in the pocket way better than Shador. People probably gonna hate me for saying that, but anyways, he did. He's a more calmer, I guess his IQ is a little better, and I think he gets moving around. He can make the scores, but I was really impressed by the little running back they got. I think it was number 20. This guy was like a little small dude bulldozer, which is a scheme that a lot of the newer coaches are using. These really short, like buff, stocky guys to run the ball, and it gives it's harder to find those guys coming out the hole. So, and then they have a low center of gravity, so they're able to get you on impact. So they got one of those guys running the ball, which could be dangerous. And they're playing FCS school, Delaware. So they're gonna be able to exploit all of that, and the wide receiver room. They're gonna be able to get the ball out to the wide receivers. Nothing like you seen last week will be this week. You got anything on that one, Big Ragu?
Yeah, I got an opinion. I got an opinion on this one. From the takeaway from last week versus Georgia Tech, I'm a big Georgia Tech fan of Brent Key.
Yep.
They played French game football, and I got to give Colorado a lot of credit in that game because they came to play and they played a good football game. That went right down to the end. Basically, didn't go their way at home, unfortunately. But what I was impressed with is their defense kind of held their ground. Where last year not so much. With Sapp coming in and trying to bring that pro style. They run a lot of pro style sets on that defense
Yeah.
lines and whatnot. So I mean, they played a good football game, played a solid football game, and quarterback play was impressive for me. So they were more of a well-rounded football team. So there is life after the Sanders boys left and Travis Hunter. So this, like you said, I think they pick up the pieces here. Did they get their, not to say feelings hurt, but that was a tough loss for them at home. But they played a great football game, so I think they move forward here a little bit.
Game because it looked like from a talent stand, like when I capped that game, I was like, Georgia Tech is the much better team here. But Colorado really showed me something last week, despite having Sanders boys out of there, Travis Hunter's out of there. Still got Dion, you got Warren Sapp, as you mentioned, Ragu, the defensive line coach over there. I mean, this guy's probably going to be a DC for a Power 4 program, and I guess by next year, if not for this Colorado team. So that's going to be really interesting. What's the number currently sitting on this Colorado game right now, Doc?
You know what?
20,
I only
20,
get
23 and a
25.
half. I'm seeing 23 and a half right now, minus 115 against Delaware.
Yeah.
I like it with you guys. I think Colorado should blow these guys out. I mean, Dion already said that he's probably going to play Julian Lewis in this game too, which means that they're probably going to break the doors off these guys. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Colorado's the side here, though, at home in Boulder, coming off a good showing against Georgia Tech.
I like it.
You're muted, boss.
Yeah, I'm back. Oh yeah, I'm with it 100%. Let's keep it moving. USC, sort of the same thing right here with USC. I mean, USC and their culture, they just want to run it up, have good Friday nights, get drunk, go down on Figueroa, get fast food late at night to the Trojan Club. That's the culture that's around the campus right there, and that's what they want to do. And this is a great opportunity for doing. Don't forget this is a make or break year for our guy Lincoln Riley and also Brian Kelly. And you've seen what Brian Kelly did; he looked better than ever. So these are top quality coaches that has to put it together to kind of save their ass right now. So I think Lincoln Riley, he doesn't care if he runs it up 70 points. He want to see every tool and weapon that he has on his team. The second team is going to come in and they're going to be trying to score. So I don't have no problem covering this 29 with USC. Anybody got anything to add to that?
Yeah, this is one of my plays actually. And I misspoke on that Pitt game. I was thinking that was Central Michigan. It was actually Georgia Southern that was on the West Coast versus Fresno. So that's my bad. They were the 1.5 point underdog, and they got railed in that game they got railed by Fresno pretty bad. But today, like I said, they're at the Coliseum playing USC, and this, like I was saying earlier, USC has a very favorable Big Ten schedule for them. They don't have to play Penn State. They don't have to play Ohio State, and this is going to be a style points game for them. This game here is a game where they'll get to open up a little bit. I mean, last week they played Missouri State. Okay, 36.5-point chalk, 73-13 on the win, and they covered the total by themselves also. So this game, to me, kind of reminds me of the Pitt Central Michigan game, but I'm not going to say a lesser opponent, but they did a little bit of a hangover probably for them. And this is the paycheck game for Georgia Southern. They're going to get to go back to Statesboro, say hello to my buddy Jimmy by the barn, and put that big check in the bank. So, but as far as Lincoln Riley goes, that's what I'm saying. This game is 3 wins. Lincoln Riley show today. They put it on. Probably had a great game, and I think they cash the money. They get the money. The only people they really have to worry about is the Ducks, who are also a machine. But like I said, this is all about impressing the BCS judges. So when they get down to the, I don't think there'll be a French team. I think they're going to get in. I really do. I think USC, because of the schedule, gets in this year. But I think they put up a lot of points here. 28.5 seems like a lot, but there's a lot of big spreads today, and I think a lot of these teams that are favored heavily, they get to the window because the books had a field day last week. I think the players, if they lay the wood this week, they'll cash some tickets.
I agree with you. I think laying the wood with USC is the right thing. I mean, you got to think about the playmakers they have at the wide receiver position. I mean, our guy, boss, Mekhi Lemon, right out of Los Alamitos High School a couple years ago. This guy's one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. This guy's going to be a first or second round draft pick when it comes down to the NFL. This guy with the ball in his hand is so explosive. They've got Jacoby Lane as well. There's so much talent on this USC roster. We saw what they did at the running back position. They grabbed the number 1 JUCO running back over there in Jordan from, I forgot where he was playing, but if you look at his JUCO college tape, it's just absolutely wild. It is a big step up in competition, but they should wipe the floor with this team. These wide receivers should get whatever they want on this secondary. I see USC running up the scoreboard and not stopping. You guys mentioned it, Lincoln Riley kind of on the hot seat. Not really. He's not going to get fired, but at the same time, he wants to show these donors, he wants to show this fan base that they're here to win. It's USC. This is a big-time program. I think USC smashes these guys.
Yeah, that was a little extra. Not that he's on the hot seat, but, it's time to show and improve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got to do that. Let's jump into this last one, which I pretty think all of us got to have a little bit on this one, because this one, you can kind of say is the tough one right here. But we're banking on Baylor right here, coming back off of a bad loss. But overall, in that loss, they didn't look bad. Things were like together, but didn't kind of sink all the way. Then they played this SMU team that this is called the rivalry, a rivalry from Texas that they never really put all the way together. But it went away for a while, so they don't have a name for it, but it's considered a rivalry. This is Waco, Texas versus Dallas, Texas. So this should be a shootout. They got 2 heavily talented quarterbacks. They're basically almost like twins almost. They both can do the same thing. They're mobile quarterbacks that also can throw a long ball. But my angle right here is in the trenches. From looking at film of both teams right here, looks like Baylor's going to win the trenches by far. They're a little size bigger. And that's the thing that they were trying to correct with SMU, is bringing in some bigger guys. So they bring in some bigger guys, but they still look kind of thin compared to with Baylor. And then Baylor's coming off of playing a tough game against some big guys last week. I think the game comes down to the trenches right here. And Baylor gets the edge. You want to give me 2.5 points? I'll take them. I like Baylor right here.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Baylor's the clear-cut side here in this spot. I mean, we're talking about an SMU team that made the college football playoff last year. A guy Rhett Lashley that I highly respect as an offensive guru, as I would say. I mean, what did they do in the offseason? They grabbed TJ Harden from UCLA. You guys know him. I was a big fan of his last year at UCLA. I was really bummed he went over to this SMU program. Baylor, on the other hand, though, coming off a tough loss to Auburn, David Aranda might be a little bit feeling something the type of way this game, because I think that everything's in front of him for the Big 12 schedule. This isn't part of their conference game. All you need to do is go to your conference championship and win that game. And they can lose all their out of conference and still make a college football playoff. But at the same time, you want to have some confidence. And I think there's just so much togetherness on this Baylor team. It's a lot of guys that have been here for a long time that David Arana has kind of brought up. These guys are 5th, 6th year guys, including the quarterback, the offensive line. They have so much older players, experienced players. I thought that was going to show up last week against Auburn. I think it shows up this week against SMU. SMU has a very favorable schedule. I think SMU can still win 10 games if they lose this game and still probably make an ACC title appearance. We'll see. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I think losing that running back was a big thing, even though bringing in TJ Harden and a couple other transfers was a big time thing. I think they might take a step back this year. I think being a team like SMU going to the college football playoff, that might not ever happen again. Unless Rhett Lashley stays here for quite some time, but I'm assuming he's going to probably take a bigger job here in these next couple of years. But SMU does have some money to pay. They are a private school. It's one of the most expensive schools to go to Texas. So they might be able to pay him some money. We'll see. Doesn't matter though. I think Baylor's the side. I think SMU, they can be fine the rest of the season with losing this game. Baylor, they might lose some confidence starting off 0-2, even though it's out of conference. I think Baylor's the side in this game.
Yeah, well, it looks like the sharp side.
Go ahead, put the cherry on top.
Yeah, I'm going to be brief on it. I didn't get to the window with this game, but I think Baylor is definitely the sharper side here. I mean, SMU's playing at home. They're nationally ranked. They played college, playoffs last year, and that was a I would say a little more inconsistency type of game. I mean, Baylor probably was the sharp side last week too, and they didn't get it done at home. As a home dog, and I think the public kind of got to the window with Auburn on that one, but they got lucky. But today, I think it speaks volumes to 2.5 point spread at home. You're less than a field goal at home. Normally, that's a play on type scenario, but here, I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I think Baylor is the sharper side here, so I think they kind of hold it together. I mean, the line tells us that right now, so I think the bigger bets are on Baylor. And there are more tickets, but bigger money, bigger bets are on Baylor here. So you follow the money in this one, guys.
There it is right there. This is our biscuits and gravy section of the show. Once again, biscuits and gravy is our name in a huge college football contest going down in Vegas with all the top-notch cappers. And we in there, of course. And we're going to continue to show you our journey as we go through the biscuits and gravy, y'all. But remember, this week we want to end up like this. Biscuits and gravy, baby. But
Hey,
let's go ahead and
full
jump
disclosure.
If I find my way home, yeah. Hey, wouldn't it be crazy? Hey, can't you still amaze me? Hey, wouldn't it be crazy? Hey, can't you still amaze me? Hey, wouldn't it be crazy? Hey, can't you still amaze me?
That sounds good right now, boss. Some nice biscuits and gravy. Oh man, that sounds good.
Let's eat. But before we move into our picks, man, we got to go to our guy NCAT33 that's in the chat. Our guy coming all the way from the Carolinas right there, and I said we're gonna name him Adventure Man or something like that. I can't remember the name for the character. We're gonna work on that though. We got to come up with this superhero name for these picks because last week it was a winner, baby, and this week we right back at you with our pick from our guy.
Come on!
Okay.
I like
There
it.
it is right there. Duke, y'all.
I like Duke. I like what Manny Diaz is doing at Duke. Quietly last year, team rolled off 9 wins. I mean, come on, you got to respect that. So shout out to Duke and Manny Diaz.
Yeah.
And
Let's jump right into our picks right here. We're gonna put you in the box right here for a hot minute on these picks so we can get through this. We'll open up the floor. I didn't get to get Wine's picks, so after we do these 4 plays right here, we'll go over what Wine got going on for today. But Virginia and NC State, I believe this is yours, Big Ragu.
yeah, this is one of my plays for sure. This is one of my plays. Listen, they're both coming off of W's last week, right? Both these teams. NC State took down East Carolina and Virginia beat Coastal Carolina. So a couple of Carolina teams and not a beat, though. Virginia beat up pretty good on them 47-17 as a 13.5 point chalk covered the number there. Jalen Morris had a pretty decent game, I would say pedestrian 19-26, 19-27 for 264. And CJ Bailey, who kind of lit it up, he 24 for 34 for 318. And they had 22 carries for 76. Or their Smothers had 22 carries for $176. But today, both of these offenses are going to go at it. They're slow moving offenses. Last year, they were some of the worst first half offenses in college football. I think ranked 122 and 110, like 3 points in the first quarter, and then 8 points in the second. And then I think Carolina was worse than that. But it's going to be a slow starting game, guys. I'm all over the under here. First half under, 27.5 points. Get to the window with that.
First half under right here in Virginia and North Carolina State. I got a good one for you, Wine. Let's jump to this one. This is one of your games, but guess what? We're going to have some fun today. It's one of mine too, and we on the other side. You want to go first for a minute, or you want me to go first for a minute?
Yeah, I get started off. I love this. everything that Kansas kind of did in the offseason, moving up the quarterback coach, Zabrowski to the OC position. He's kind of running everything that Coach Koldnicki did a couple years ago, who's now the OC over at Penn State. That's probably going to either be their head coach next year, depending on what happens, or be a head coach for another Power 4 program. The guy does everything right offensively, and he works his offense around Jalen Daniels, specifically in the play action. They're going to run the ball. We saw Devin Neal run the ball like crazy last year. He's off to the NFL. They've got a couple other good running backs back there. I still like that. I've been playing pretty well. They grabbed a playmaker in Emmanuel Henderson from Alabama at the wide receiver position. We saw him go off last week. You just got to get the ball in this guy's hand. He's very explosive with it. I think Kansas could win this game outright, guys. The only problem I have is on their offensive line, to see if they can hold up and protect Jalen Daniels against the defensive SEC front from Mizzou. That actually does look pretty strong. That's going to be my biggest concern here, but I got +7 earlier on in the week. I got that in my back pocket. It's down to a +5, +5.5 now at most spots. I wouldn't give it out at that, but I still like the +7.
Oh man, this is amazing. It's amazing how cappers line up on games. And it's funny that I'm on the other side of this pick, but we kind of got the same breakdown. But let me jump in here and get this minute over with. I'll give you my take on this one. So this what you were saying at the end, Wine. The Missouri line looks much bigger than Kansas line right there, and I don't trust Kansas defense. I mean, you were absolutely correct last week with Kansas that it was going to be like a video game, right? Daniels came out like a video game, which you got to be careful because he's injury prone. But both teams overall put up 40 points on their outings last week. I like the over in this one a lot, over 50.5 right here, because I think Kansas defense don't quite hold them. This will be a tight game going all the way down to the end. And I think that Missouri will get them at the end. I said they should win by at least 8 points. But I'm not going to be on the side. I'm going to be on the over because both teams' offense can be electrifying. That's my pick. Over 50.5.
I like the over too. I do think points will be scored.
Let's go. Next up, this is another one of mine, so I might as well stay right here. But this one's going to be quick right here. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys, as a capper, you got to have edges and angles, right? Just edges and angles that you believe in, that you have to see them come to fruition on the field. And sometimes you can ride those for a while. So I'm on Ball State. I'm riding their ass like a cowboy because they're one of the schools that don't want to put up much money. They're not with the time right now. And they got the shit kicked out of them last week, and they're going to get the shit kicked out of them again. They played Purdue last week, which is a first-year coach kind of making his way through, and they won, put up 30 or something like that on them. Auburn, this is a chance for them to get out, let their hair down, and all that good stuff at home. So I think Auburn definitely puts up this 42.5 right now. But I took it early in the week. I can't lie. I got 43.5, so I got a long ways to go. I think Auburn could put up. I don't think Ball State's offense can really move the ball. It would probably be like 56-6 or some crazy score like that. But this is a week where, sometimes you just got to lay the wood because, like I always say, they can only put the number so high. You know what I'm saying? Always remember that it's the boogie's job to bring people in on both sides. So they can only put the number as high as they can to entice people to go the other way because they already know Armour's going to run away with this one. Anybody got anything on that one? Probably not. Let's go into the big game of the day right here. Michigan and Oklahoma, big ragu. I left this one alone. I'm gonna tell you off top. Both of these teams are huge question marks in their conference. If you look where Oklahoma lies in their conference, huge question mark, big expectations, and the same thing here with Michigan. But Michigan got the super duper Bryce Underwood quarterback who's gonna have a future somewhere. But what you got on this one, Big Ragu?
You talk about the $12 million kid, NIL money, Mr. Underwood, the freshman, Mr. Underwood, against Mateer, probably the best, arguably the best quarterback in the transfer portal from Washington State. Now, the defenses here are going to be legit, that's for sure. So there's a lot of steam on the under, which, we're looking at 43 points now, down from like 45.5, 43.5, whatever. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Underwood to take this game on the road in Oklahoma. I think Venables, he's hot. His seat's been hot for a little while here, but He hasn't done super as far as the recruiting process, but he has gathered some athletes, and I think this is probably his best team he's had. Um, so I'm going to say it's going to be a really tough spot for Underwood to go into Norman and take down the Sooners here. But I lean under, but something's telling me I've got an inclination on the side here. I think Venables is going to give this kid some a lot of different looks here. I think yards are going to be hard to come by. I think it's going to be a lower type scoring game. But even though I kind of like and lean the under here, I think the better athletes are probably going to get some heat for this. Let's start off why, because number one, Michigan after that crazy year they had last year, everything's kind of they're kind of propping up. I know Oklahoma has been trying to prop this program up for a minute, so I think there's more of a team gel in Norman than there is in Michigan here. So I'm gonna take the home side here. I'm gonna kind of be a little bit chalky, a little bit. I think the sharps are on Michigan, but I'm gonna go contrarian here. I'm gonna lay the wood with Oklahoma. I think they win by a touchdown.
I like it. I like it. Are you on that one, Wine?
I am not. I could only move on Oklahoma, though. I mean, everything that Doc just mentioned about Bryce Underwood, I just don't trust a freshman going into Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, I mean, John Mateer, this kid's a gamer. I think they're going to take care of business in Oklahoma. It's not a, SEC against Big Ten. Michigan still has everything in front of them. Not saying that I think they're going to be really good this year, but I just think that Oklahoma has too many edges in this game. If Bryce Underwood goes into Norman, Oklahoma and wins, then we might have to put him on we might have to be like, wow, this kid might be legit. I have to see that still. This is an 18-year-old kid out there that's already a millionaire. What kind of motivation do you have after that? I often ask that question, kind of with like DJ Uiagalelei a couple of years ago when we talked about when he signed that big contract with Clemson before it took a snap. It's like, what more do you have to play for after you already have that money? Same time, this kid is a gamer, though, so anything can happen in college football. But I just think Oklahoma has all the advantages being at home here. John Mateer, veteran quarterback against a young quarterback. I'll take Oklahoma all day here.
There it is right there, man. Let's open up the floor for whatever content or whatever questions we got going on in the chat. Shout out to our guy, Ix. Ix says he's making biscuits and gravy for the tailgate tomorrow.
Let's go.
There you go. Good man.
Yeah, big shout out. We gonna get the biscuits and gravy storing this week. I can't wait till we get that 7 out of 7 week and we rank high.
Oh, it's coming.
Top, people, but it's definitely coming. Absolutely. But I got a couple extra plays that I threw in there. Some that I'm kind of coming to the point where I know I have my main plays, which we do the shows and we talk and all that. But this just the natural itch in me puts me on all kinds of games that I probably shouldn't be betting, but I bet them anyway because, like I said, their angles, their edges that I believe in, that I trust in. I'm gonna go ahead and attack those. So one of those for me, which is kind of a big one, I kind of discovered it last night, kind of late, is this Miami, Ohio Rutgers game. The under in this spotlight right here looks good. Both teams super defensed out. And Miami, Ohio can't find themselves on the offensive side of the ball. So it's pointing towards the under. And then on top of that, we got some bad weather to add to it. So I think that's Capper's play. You got to jump on that. Put something like you hear those kind of things, it just rings in your ear. And if it cashes later, you be like, oh man, I should have did that. I felt it. I heard it. That's those are angles and stuff that I trust. So I had to put a little something on that. You got some plays, Warren?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was leaning towards the under in that one. Other than that, the games, I'm not sure. Did we talk about Duke? I am on Duke here in this spot against Illinois. I know it's guys, I mean, when you look at it from an X's and O standpoint, you got to tell me Illinois is the better team. I understand that. They have the more experienced team. I just think Duke is going to have a really good game plan coming out at home. There's only 40,000 people at Duke, but this place is going to be 40,000 strong. This place is going to be rocking and rolling. We've seen them make a lot of upsets with out-of-conference teams coming into Duke. People kind of underestimate the crowd, but this place is going to be rocking. I'm on Duke. I'm on the under 24 and under 24 minus 120 in the first half. I also moved on Duke first half +1 minus 110. I think Duke in the first half is going to probably be up in this game. The full game is going to be into question, I think, but I think this is going to be both teams that are going to come out there slow, running the ball, playing good defense, using the guys at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Illinois they've got so many 50, 60-year guys that have been with this program for years, very experienced team. And I think Duke, we know Manny Diaz likes to run a good defense. We've seen him be a really good D coordinator, head coach. We've questioned him at times, but last year taking Duke to 9 wins, I mean, come on. I mean, he has this program headed in the right direction. It's crazy. I didn't think Manny Diaz was going to be a good head coach here. But here we are talking about it now. I'm on Duke first half and I'm on the under first half.
I like it.
It is right there. You got anything to add, Ragu?
You know, I told you early in the show when we opened, I was going to tread lightly. You know, 2 of my plays are already in the biscuits and gravy with the USC play and the Pitt play. But like I say, I like the NC State under. I like the Oklahoma side, and I'm probably, you know, it's a big number. Like I said, I think some of these big numbers are going to get there. But I think Oregon, they're a machine, man. I'm probably going to lean on Oregon in the first half at home to open up big on Oklahoma State here. I think they get there. I think for the game, I think we're looking at 33 and a half, which is huge 5 touchdowns. But I think they got the offense to do it. And I know they don't play defense. The Big 12 is the new Pac-12, so there's going to be a lot of points scored in that league. And I think Oregon runs it up on them. So give me Oregon in the first half as an add-on play, but it's not an official play, just an add-on play for the show.
I like that. I heard something about there's some animosity with Dan Lanning in that game too. So
Dan Lanning needs to show a little more respect to Gundy. I think. I don't know. That was a little out of. I don't know if you guys saw that interview. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat too, Gundy, right now too. He's been there. He's been there more than a day, a couple of days anyway. So I like Gundy too. I like him. You know, I like how he always has his troops rally for him, and just when you think, Oklahoma's always been one of those teams for me. Oklahoma State, when you think they're going to rise up to the occasion, they play down, and then when you don't expect it, they play the game of the game of the season. So this could be one of them opportunities where they use it as motivation, like you said, out of respect. So he might, and the guys play hard for him, they really do. So yeah, that's a great point about the issue between Gundy and Lanning right now. So.
But I'm gonna get to some of the good stuff because the game's about to start soon. We appreciate everybody for hopping in the chat, watching the show, hanging out with us as we went through some good stuff today. I feel we're gonna have a good Saturday this Saturday, guys. But let's also go into what's coming up in 12 days from now. A lot of these people in these chats, a lot of the Who-Bangin team. Trust me, it's going to be probably 20 plus of us there in Atlantic City, live betting college football, breakfast with the boss and the sauce, and we're going to be doing NFL that Sunday. So if you're in the area, anywhere near the area, a couple hours drive down, come on and hang out with us.
What up, At Who-Bangin Sports, we not only deliver the content and the picks, y'all, we also bring the noise. Join us live in beautiful Atlantic City, New Jersey for the Who-Bangin 2025 annual meetup. Yes! Mark your calendars. The Who-Bangin Sports Talk meetup runs from September 18th to the 21st, 2025 in Atlantic City. Now, this just isn't a meetup, y'all. This is an opportunity for you to grow your network, share some strategies, and celebrate our passions for sports betting. Oh yeah, we gonna get this party started right. Friday night, 4 p.m. We're hanging out with the Live Sweat. Now imagine waking up Saturday morning, college football with breakfast with the boss and the sauce at 10 a.m. Location to be announced. Sunday, last day for a fun day. We'll be hanging out for some Sunday night NFL football, 8 p.m. Location to be announced. And do me a favor, y'all. Make sure you like and follow. Register with us by email or Twitter X. All registered attendees will receive a gift set. Compliments from Who-Bangin Sports Talk. I'm DJ Big Boss, and I'm out.
Yes, sir. It will be going down. And if anybody knows how we roll, or how I roll, I always bring bunch of merch for everybody to have, some shirts and all that good stuff. So if you make it out there, my man, somebody in the chat said they're gonna try to make it out there. OE said he want to drive up for sure.
OE,
Make it out there.
He's right up the street from where I'm at. It's the
Oh,
Volusia
okay.
County, Florida, Ole.
Yeah, man.
Right,
Roll up
Ole?
with us. And, we got you up there, man. We're gonna have a good time. Every time we do these type of things, we make a lot of money, man, and we have some really good times, man. It's a lot of stuff you can never forget from some of those events. But that's mostly it for this week right here, man. I'm gonna let everybody go. I don't want to hold everybody. Once again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Let's get through the window. Big Rod Goose, send us out on a good note.
All right, let's roll, guys. So listen, get to the window like my man says. And then also, don't forget to check in with all our other shows. Look out for DeLeon. Look out for Jimmy G. Look out for X. And look out for Dommy Gun. Dommy Gun, where you at, my boy? See you at the window.
I see you at the window.
The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.